things like that.
Let me ask you a question, God. What is your favorite Don Pacino album?
He has a lot though, and honestly, it's probably the Bronze Nazareth.
More poetry?
More poetry, you know. But again, this is biased though. I think Bronze Nazareth is one of the great beat makers.
I agree with that.
Pacino was very focused on that album because he got a lot of guest appearances that are different.
He did though.
And he was making like a Killer Army album. But that's also the time that I met Don Pacino.
Well, around that time?
Yeah, so the way I really started to build with him.
So on the side note, God, you know, the God got to get back sharp on his lessons though.
Oh yeah.
God, when the God say, yo, when you ask the God, what's his favorite degree in 120, he say, yo, my favorite is 12 joules.
Out of 120, God, what would you say your favorite degree was?
My shit's like 12 joules and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like
those aren't degrees. That's not degrees.
No, that's not degrees. That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, I'm taking you out of degrees. I'm talking about it wouldn't even be in the 1 to 20. You know what I mean? It'd be the 12 joules of life.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's the science right there. You know what I mean? That's the 12 joules. That's really, that was like the how they say they wrote the Constitution and all this other shit. That's like our Constitution, God, because that's the 12. That's really what you need, the 12 joules. So that's where I'm at with it, God.
So I'm like, okay, you just tell him you rusty. All right, just say that then. All right, that was just
12 joules is not part of the curriculum.
No, it's not part of the curriculum. The God, I don't know what happened from then to now, but the God is a little bit.
This is no dig on Don Pacino because he's a great brother. He's never represented the shit wrong. Like as a representative, saying like the black man is God, the original man is God. We assume that. Like we assume that artists really know 120 well because of the music that we heard. And that's not the case though. For example though, right? My brother's an actor, right? When he does a role though, he could really steep into the role. You don't think he's a hustler at the end of the shit. You know, actors they study the role, they study, and I'm not saying that MCs are studying a role, but the things that they really care about at the moment, because artists their work is the moment in time. You're capturing what they knew really well at that moment in time. You know what I'm saying? Just like if you captured me every time in the moment of time, you're gonna capture me at certain books that I read and that I was really fluent in, as opposed to other times where I was reading different books. You know what I'm saying? So like if you were my student in the early 2000s though, a lot of ancient Taoist scripture, like I had it really well because that was when I was really exploring it for the first time. You know, so it's kind of like that. Not an excuse.
It's like that, like kind of like it's like early rock canon.
Yeah.
And from what we understand, or you know, from what I've heard, he never really acknowledged 120, 100%, but he's still sincere.
Right, and see, you see the sincerity by the era that you find out when you learn more about them. And I wrote that in the piece that I wrote in the review that I put on 5% Media about Rakim's book, which was a very interesting read. But he felt it wouldn't be right. This is what he said. He felt it wouldn't be right if he was getting it from an elder to guide him through it because he didn't want to just parrot that. So already that he didn't understand the depth of the enlightener relationship. You see what I'm saying? So now, us reading it, we already know that like, yo, you actually did pretty good considering that you kind of like went against the entire educational format of this whole thing. That's the whole education format here. Someone that's elder, you're like a disciple. It's the same thing. Like if I saw a fighter and he had some things, because there's kids out there, you meet kids out there, they know about kung fu. I meet them all the time when they pass by. They know about kung fu shit and they can't fight. So they could do kicks and stuff that look better, and they're younger, so they could kick higher than me or some shit like that. But they can never get one off that would hurt or anything. Because they didn't learn from a Sifu. They didn't learn from Sigung. They didn't have that discipline. So they don't really know how to fight. They just learn arts. And, you know, if you watch things, you could learn how to mimic a move very well. You know? Because remember, in a movie, a lot of those blows are artistic because they actually could hurt the other person. You know what I mean? It's like the famous, when, I forget what the name of them was, one of Jackie Chan's early movies.
So you see Crazy Fist?
No, a little later. Yeah, those are like the bad ones. The first Drunken Master. I think if I remember, Wang Jiang Li was like We talk about emulating and stuff.
Silver
I
Fox?
emulate his shit. Yeah, the Silver Fox. But this one, he was just a villain, and he was saying that Wang Zhengli, he was a real Taekwondo master, and the story goes that he even killed somebody with a roundhouse. Like a Vietnamese knife expert challenged him, and he roundhoused him and killed him. You know what I mean? And after that, he has a documentary about kicking and kicking techniques. I watch that shit all the time because I'm like, this one, he knows how to kick.
You can see it.
His kicks are gonna work if I do it right. And Jackie Chan in his autobiography was saying that like he was kicking and it was really, really hurting because he doesn't really know any other way. He doesn't know the artistic way of kicking. And then just like the famous story where Bruce Lee knocked him out, like knocked him down really hard, and that Bruce Lee was really nice about it. He went up to it because Jackie Chan was just a regular stuntman. But Bruce Lee hit him, which says a lot about Jackie Chan that he could survive a Bruce Lee kick. You know what I mean? But
that also speaks to youngsters watching like these videos. It's like you're not gonna get it that way. I mean, you'll get certain things, but you'll still have to get.
And you know what's interesting is that the students that are learning from us that are far away, they're supposed to take the challenge and try to teach someone nearby, and that would give them the actual goal. Most of the nation, the way it's traveled is elder guys that got it here, and those gods went to other places and founded it somewhere else. In this day and time, someone is going to have to be daring to say, I'm going to try to actualize this around my area. You know what I mean?
Indeed, God.
I don't think that's happened yet. Not really. From people learning online and stuff like that. In my classes, when I'm online, I say it all the time now, I need you guys to do something else besides watch me here. I need you to contact me outside. You are not a student of mine if you only saw me here in the class.
See, that's important.
It's important. Because in real life, if they were here in the classroom, you have to do stuff outside of the classroom with me too. You have to actually contact me, you have to ask me things, you know what I'm saying?
Well, how many of the students would you say that came here actually really went according to that requirement?
The percentage is low because a lot of times, that through the history when there was no internet, people came here to classes because they wanted that battery in the back. They wanted to feel hyped up, just like when they go to Parliament. And then you wonder why they disappear. It's because a lot of people need that.
Indeed.
But
it's almost like, when people go to church on Sunday to get that
same thing.
Recharge.
Same thing. And it happens all the time. You know what I mean?
We lost that. We lost that.
It's not the same. It's not the same no more.
It's not. The fact that you could just, pull out your phone and look at the video. Like for instance, Doc Kim walked me through 120, right?
He's the perfect example.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So him walking me through 120. Like in '94, I was here. I was in the civilization class. So when his long drawn, he likes to kind of drag it. He'd sit there for like 4 hours, 5 hours, and he'll drag it. So I paid my dues. But now when I see it online,
and you can listen to Dark Kim or me in 2 times speed and shit.
Right. So now I might tune in for like maybe 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? That's just me.
It's different, God. Like, see, if I listen to a video, right? If I listen to Sunya's video or a Dark Kim video, it's different. Me being where I'm at and listening. You know what I mean? But when I'm in the class, it's a different feel. It's a different aura, God. You know what I mean? It's more intense in the classroom. But when I'm abroad,
but I try to be fair, God. I try to be fair, Amare, because they can't come to the class.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They can't come to a class, And what could they do to make it authentic to them? A lot of these students, honestly, online, they're people with families already, and they're older. And they let's keep it real, they miss their chance.
They miss their chance.
To get the knowledge when they were younger.
Yeah,
See, I never felt that way. And that's probably why I didn't have that stigma, even though I was older when I got the knowledge.
How old were you get the knowledge?
When I got the knowledge, I came here at I was 23.
Okay.
So by 24, I'm already teaching here. So 23, but
just a year.
Yeah, just a year, right? But I came every day, and we talk about walking with like Dark Kim or like you had freedom.
Yeah, right.
With Bronx Telnet. Walking with the gods didn't mean like, you know, I was talking to them and shit like that. I had to go places. I'm like, I don't even know where we're going.
That's right. Travel.
But I want to continue the build. I want to hear what he's saying. And I'm going with K-Bar and Dark Kim and Dr. Janelle.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, and there was one time I was with all of them. I was like, you know, this could not really end very well because I don't know what the hell these guys are doing. I just trust that they'll take care of me. You know what I'm saying? And they did, obviously.
Right.
But I was going to the different parts of the Bronx, different parts of this. You know what I'm saying? And you're not just staying all the days here. Oh, walk with me, God, and you have to walk with the guy around the neighborhood. Go here, do this, do some errands with them and shit.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying for the time, though, God. I mean, that time is not now, though, God. You know
but however, that is still.
It's still there. But
very I'm talking about. It's very important, though.
It's important because when I used to walk with like the times I walk with like Freedom, the times I walk with Al Jamar, the times I walk with Dumar. You could see their interaction with people, and you got a difference of how people reacted to them in their different ways and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You walk with Freedom, it's like you're walking with a superstar. And
which Freedom you talking about?
Papa Wu. The thing about Freedom was that it's like he's a superstar, but a lot of these people didn't know shit about rap. So he's not. You know, that's the thing that people get skewed. He wasn't just a superstar in Medina or here because, you know, oh, that's Papa Wu, he's on the Wu-Tang forever. No, some people didn't know that he was on any type of thing. He just was like in the community in a different dynamic way, you know what I'm saying? And for me, finding my calling, what setting would I be most efficient with, most powerful in? And I felt that I found it, you know, I found it. So for all the students I taught only in the street, this is really where I made my mark here in this classroom. So I kept, you know,
that's another thing. I mean, you gotta find your mark. You gotta find where you fit in. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not necessarily somebody who's just, you know, like Freedom is like somebody who's has a very big personality. He's just walking through the streets and has that.
Right.
My personality is not, you know, like sometimes I just stand back and I'm watching everybody. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing about the 5%, right? In some way, everybody has a giant personality. I mean, the person that brought me to a law school was Day Sun. And people only match that personality. Nobody has a bigger personality than him. No. You know what I mean? Like, he's an entire showcase on his own. We'd often be the case. We'd be like, I used to always be with him and be like, yo, students, you're so different than him. And we were like yin and yang, you know, like we were totally different.
But even he has a certain channel or a certain way of delivering. It's not necessarily on the street corner. He's not the personality on the street corner. Right,
yeah. In fact, I think, you know, it sounds crazy, but if you know Day Sun, just the street corner might be too limiting for him. He's too extreme even for the street corner.
Absolutely.
You know?
That's a fact.
Yeah. He was that intense, you know what I mean?
If Mecca did this.